Welcome, dear viewers, to Couch Warrior TV on YouTube. I am the Couch Warrior, and you are watching The Passage, a Skyrim SE Let's Play featuring Ettient Jorel, the Altmer Ranger. Okay, so it's 4:30 in the morning. I found a little spot here along the riverbank and camped out for the night. And we are actually very close to the Forsworn camp at this point. So we're getting up just before sunrise. And we are going to try and find a position to attack from. And if we're lucky, we may be able to pick out some targets in this pea soup here. It's really nuts. Like, look at, there was a guy standing right there. He would have been an ideal target, but until he moved, I couldn't see him. Although this is a good observation. He's obviously walking a patrol that takes him out here to the end of this deck. That might be an ideal spot for us to take him out if the fog holds anyway. We might be able to discreetly kill him without alerting the people who are in this area. The struggle is just to make sure we can see him. Wow. That makes visibility even worse, I think. Maybe a little better as it wears off, though. The contrast helps. Ooh, that's good. There he is. Right through the heart. And we are still good and silent. Okay, there's somebody sitting right there. You see that? Got the kill on her and she dropped off the side. Okay, that's 2 down. Yeah, come out here. Come out here. Oh, don't come too far, though. I need a second shot. Okay, good. She's done. Reposition. We hung out maybe too long in that one spot. Okay, the fog is cleared. Sun's gonna be up before we know it here. Okay. Somebody on this tanning rack. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Get in there. Yes. Okay. Wow, not bad. Not bad. We're kind of working our way in, I think, towards this major platform. And to me, that seems like a defensible position for them, right? We've done some damage to the mage that is up there, and my guess is that if they were going to form some kind of a defense, that would be where they would do it. But once again, we're trying to apply reason and story to Skyrim AI. That doesn't always make a lot of sense. There are plenty of AI overhauls that you can load up if you want to. I've used many of them myself in the past. But none of them are foolproof. Ha! Ooh. Mongrel is dead on this morning. There's another one. You're all alone, mage. You are all alone. And the hound is watching you. There's one across the bow. Little warning shot. Okay. She may be alone, but she survived our initial attack, which was pretty heavy, so we are going to make sure to treat her with plenty of respect. Okay, all clear. I think the best thing we can do is simply reposition ourselves to make sure that our next shot comes from a completely unexpected direction. Whoa. Well, this is a terrible angle because we have that post right in between us and her. But there's a chance we could make the shot. We could also possibly draw her away and get a cleaner shot that way. So let's go ahead and put one down range and see what happens. Okay, that could have gone into the post. I don't know. What spell is she casting? Is that... It's just like a... There it is. Just like that, it's all over. Now, we're going to approach with caution because we've been circling the camp for, gosh, close to 18 hours, kind of observing it from all angles, but that doesn't mean we have our count, our body count exactly right. Okay. We've been all up in here. So we're going to just kind of systematically go through this. Very wary of the mages. That was some pretty fine shooting this morning, actually. I'm pretty pleased with that, especially after the dismal shooting of the previous day. I feel pretty good about those results. Forsworn Sword I didn't want, so we're going to store that. Iron Greatsword, I'm hoping that I can smelt that down and use that for something. Can we get these? Hanging Moss? Not Hanging Moss, it's some kind of ivy. Okay, let's go check this mage. I just want to make sure she is done. Ooh. I think with the exception of the Hag Raven, all of our attacks were done with Forsworn Arrows again. And that's, you know... Ooh. Orcish Sword, okay. It looked different from that angle. Okay, blacksmith potion. Ooh, that's good. Like that. Orcish battle axe. Too heavy. I don't know that I have ever played a character prior to Ettient where food was such a priority. In part, we have iNeed to thank for that. But I feel like we were doing a pretty good job of monitoring our food intake before we even implemented that mod. The main reason that I implemented iNeed is because I wanted the ability to gather water, and I wanted clean water sources to be an important part of why we picked particular camping areas and stuff like that. iNeed seemed like a great way to do that, so... All right. Other strips are good. Salt is good. Nord mead is pretty good. Empty baskets, not so much. Man. Big old Warhammer. Salmon. Look at that. I love that. That's a good shot right there. I am a bit fatigued, you know? Whoops. Sometimes I'm too fast on the clicking. Looking at stuff I don't necessarily need to. Steel greatsword. How are we doing on weight here? Guess we could take it. Can still handle it. So now the question is, what are the Forsworn doing here? Is this merely a staging area? Or is there some other reason why the Forsworn have set up a camp in this space specifically? One of the things that we've learned about the Forsworn is that they sometimes have an unexpected agenda, you know? We have found them pursuing items of power. We've found them engaging in strange experiments and rituals. You know what they kind of remind me of? They sort of remind me of the stories you hear, you know, of the Nazis in the last days of World War II. When the writing was on the wall, they knew they were losing the war, and they started exploring all kinds of strange things to see if they could win the war. And that's where some of, you know, those innovations around things like rocketry and jet engines and stuff really came to the fore, you know? And it sort of strikes me that maybe the Forsworn have seen the writing on the wall, and they recognize that they're not winning this thing, and that they're not likely to win this thing anytime soon unless they can find some advantage. And maybe that advantage, you know, partnering up with with hag ravens and exploring dark magic with, you know, the briar hearts and pursuing the legend of Red Eagle and trying to resurrect Red Eagle and all this stuff. It's almost the equivalent of the nuclear option, right? All right. So it's broad daylight. It's a little bit dicey here. We've searched him. We got him yesterday. So we need to get our look around here and then get out of here. We can't be hanging around too much. Let's have a little wedge of cheese to tide us over, a drink of water, and we're going to explore this cave and see if we can figure out why they're here. Oh, man. Okay, can we all just recognize this for the bad situation it is for Ettient? Okay, this is a good long-range shot. If he slows down enough that we can one-shot him, it's possible that his drop might draw the others maybe to the back more. Regardless. Okay. Down he goes. Let's see who else comes to the party. Anyone?
Did you hear something?
Oh, there's somebody right in front of us. Another one down. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oof. Here we go. Good, yeah, go up there. Go up there. That's right where the hound wants you.
What was that?
Ooh. Gotta say, I was a bit more nervous in that scenario than anything we've encountered previously, just because, man, if Ettient gets ganged up on with melee weapons, it's all over. That whole encounter that we had with Nepos the Nose and his minions was a similar situation. Trying to get out the door after provoking them was a little scary. Because a lot of times in those situations, if you and the enemies are hitting the door at the same time, what'll end up happening is once you emerge on the other side, they'll block your path. And there are so many of them. With 4 of them, it would be like the equivalent of trying to break through a wall of bodies, and the game is not friendly where that's concerned. You can jump, you can try and move all you want. Sometimes they just pen you in and hack away until you're done. And sometimes in those situations, it just takes a certain amount of luck to find an opening and escape. And I feel like that's what happened with the Hound in that situation. Look at that. We pierced his jaw and then into his chest. Ugh, that's a terrible way to go. But I'm not sorry. And we've collected another Briarheart. Another orcish dagger. Now, I didn't load any mods of any kind that did anything at all to leveled lists. In other words, just referring to the general lack of enchanted items we're seeing in the game world. You know, in chests and on our enemies and stuff, we're finding very few enchanted items, which, you know, considering the fact that we're... What are we now? Level 15? That's kind of amazing. Oh, look at that. We have our bonus perk to spend, too. Ooh. What do we want to do with this? What are our options? Okay. No options on the archery front. With one-handed. Any options here? No. Up this way, Disciplined Fighter reduces the stamina cost of power attacks with one-handed weapons by 15 points. I don't know. I think it would be a good thing to have, but I'm not, like, burning to have that now. Okay. Assassin's Blade. Ooh. Backstab is open. You deal 25% more damage with daggers when striking a target from behind. If the target is at full health, this is a critical strike that deals 3 times critical damage. We're doing that. We are doing that. So what are these Forsworn up to? There's still a spider web stretching across here, which leads me to believe they haven't explored beyond this point. So they're stopping here and not advancing any further toward this structure. There must be a reason why. We're gonna look. This is not Dwemer architecture. This is not Nord architecture. So, the Hound consults his map. Let's have a look. Alright, as we look at the map, we've identified on multiple occasions from multiple different angles an unusual structure, right? The few times we've seen it, it's been obscured by clouds and fog. And we couldn't really make out any details. It sits right in the heart of Forsworn territory in the Reach here. And we have a massive camp of Forsworn parked on its doorstep, whatever it is. I think Etienne's going to be able to divine that this is somehow connected to the other piece of that structure that we saw from across the valley. And these are runes that we don't recognize either. That appears to be a bridge of some kind. So the Hound is questioning whether or not the bridge is something he could circumvent completely. Billy Goat style. Let's explore, shall we? It's not often that Etienne takes the time to really inspect his surroundings like this. Begs the question. Okay, let's take a look. Zoom out as much as I can here. Yeah, that's quite a climb. It doesn't look very accessible, does it? Stone spire there. Oh, look it. It's a support for another bridge. That's what it is. Okay, let's get across that. Ooh. That looks like an impossibility. There's really no handholds on that pillar that would allow us to get up it. So, question is, are there any viable handholds on this wall that would allow us to shimmy across, at least close enough to get up there? Nope. Come on. Back and forth. Back and forth. Oh, it's a stump. Come on. Use those mountain goat skills. Ugh, no. How about this approach? We dare try it? We're too intrigued to be fatigued. Put that on a t-shirt. Boy. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Get around this rock. Get up on top of the rock. Whoa. Yeah. Okay. Now. Oh, come on. Am I being blocked? Oh. Okay. If it's important enough for them to be here, it's important enough for him to be curious about and to want to investigate. So let's look at the runes. Could it be as simple as something with a down arrow means the bridge comes down? Yeah. Hey. Apparently it was that simple. Deep breath. Whew. Okay. Ow. Okay. Etienne would be shaken up. Swig a couple healing potions there. Okay, symbols. Uh-oh. That's no good. Okay, we can't afford to lose our light here in the middle of this. Okay, we figured out the pattern. Same symbol as drop the bridge. We just got to make sure we don't miss. And I'm too busy looking down to pay attention to where it's leading us. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm out of runway here. Does this mean the whole thing is deactivated, or... Oh, is the hound dog meat? No, he's not. Wow. Okay, we're paying close attention to the ground now. Gauntlets. Arrows, that's good. Ooh, look at that. Magic items. And very useful ones at that. Excellent. We will immediately sit down and try those on. Steel boots of major stamina. Heck yeah. Good. Look at this. This is one of my favorite things in the game. This place, and more specifically, this door. I think one of the things that is almost a shame, in a way, is that, you know, in the vanilla game, once this door is opened, you never get to see this thing again. It's got an incredibly intimidating look and feel to it. It's just, to me, it's incredible. And it blows you away. I mean, when you first come through that entranceway and look across this chamber and see that shadowed face looking across at you, it's kind of an amazing thing when you think about it. So, clearly there's nothing we can do here. I don't know what any of this is. Well, the Forsworn are after something in here. They obviously... Maybe that camp was in some way setting the stage for breaking into whatever this is. Judging by the look of it, it's probably some source of power. And, you know, maybe that Hagraven was performing rituals to try to find some arcane method for breaching the door. Who knows? We're speculating at this point because we can't go any further than this spot, or... Well, I can't believe it would have been as simple as just getting in to loot the place. I feel like the Forsworn don't really function that way, you know what I mean? Okay, just playing it safe, that's all. Now I'm wondering if I can close that up again. I think that worked. Yes, it did. We have discovered what is there, but we don't want there to be any chance at all that the Forsworn would get in, since we don't know what they were after. Can I close this now, too? See, I can't activate these pillars now, so this is apparently open for good, at least for now. All right, we've dawdled here way too long, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for Ettient to move on. It has been basically a couple straight days of combat, ambush, sleeping in the field, and probably not as much rest as a person should get. So we are headed back to the Crow's Nest. All right, we're going to vacate this area and head back to our base camp. I want to thank everybody for watching the passage. I will see you next time.